Companies have announced new investments of more than $36 billion in electric vehicles and $48 billion in battery manufacturing here in the U.S.
In an era where leadership is as much about inspiring change as it is about making decisions, recent tremors in the electric vehicle sector present a complex challenge. President Joe Biden, a vocal advocate for the green transition, finds his push for EV adoption at odds with market dynamics and consumer apprehensions. Despite the administration's enthusiastic support, giants like Ford, GM, and Tesla have initiated unprecedented price cuts on their EV models, a move that signals deeper issues in sparking consumer interest. But the concerns don't stop at market reluctance. Safety has surged to the forefront, with alarming reports of EV-related explosions and fires, raising serious questions about the technology's readiness for mass adoption. These incidents have not only cast a shadow over the perceived benefits of EVs, but also fueled a wave of criticism against the rush towards electrification.
Which we're going to replace with clean electric vehicles made right here in America by Americans.
Leaked consumer reports have further muddied the waters, revealing significant flaws in EV technology. Flaws that had remained under wraps. This revelation has put the Biden administration in the hot seat, facing accusations of misleading the public on the EV promise. Amid this growing mess, automakers are now appealing to the White House for a recalibration of its EV strategy. They argue that the administration's unwavering push, absent a more nuanced understanding of market readiness and consumer concerns, risks exacerbating the industry's challenges. This standoff highlights a widening gap between the political aspirations for a greener future and the practical realities of technological adoption and consumer safety. The stakes are high, with job security and economic stability hanging in the balance. As government incentives aim to catalyze the shift to electric, the industry grapples with the immediate repercussions of a transition that seems increasingly fraught with obstacles. As this narrative unfolds, one thing becomes clear: the road to electrification is anything but straightforward. Bridging the gap between vision and reality demands a delicate balance, one that acknowledges the complexities of innovation, market forces, and consumer trust. The journey ahead for the EV industry, policymakers, and consumers alike is set to be one of adaptation, learning, and ultimately evolution. President Biden's vision for a future filled with quiet, eco-friendly electric vehicles seemed promising.
We're building the future of the electric vehicle.
However, major car manufacturers like GM, Ford, and Tesla are facing a harsh reality. Their EVs aren't flying off the shelves. Despite Ford's efforts to roll out a plethora of shiny new EV models, a staggering 700,000 units out of 1 million remain unsold, gathering dust in dealerships nationwide. Similarly, GM's electric pickups, once thought to be revolutionary, are struggling to gain traction in the market, leading to a significant slump in sales. Biden's administration aims to enforce a rule mandating that by 2032, 2/3 of all new cars must be electric. Yet, the infrastructure necessary to support such a transition, including charging stations and public demand, remains in its infancy. Despite the president's strong push for EV adoption, consumers are hesitant to embrace the change. Nearly 4,000 car dealerships across the United States are echoing the sentiment that the public isn't prepared for electric vehicles, making sales increasingly challenging. These dealerships, serving as frontline observers of consumer trends, are witnessing firsthand the sluggish movement of EVs off their lots. This trend persists despite Biden's injection of $9 billion into Ford's EV initiative and the implementation of restrictive measures aimed at hindering the sale of gas-powered cars.
Build their own electric charging infrastructure throughout their state.
As the hype surrounding EVs wanes and consumer resistance grows, car manufacturers find themselves at odds with political leaders who are beginning to heed public sentiment. In a surprising turn of events, major players in the automotive industry, including Ford and GM, are scaling back their plans for electric vehicles. Despite the growing buzz around EVs, Ford announced the halt of production for their F-150 Lightning pickups due to lackluster demand, while GM is delaying the release of models like the Silverado EV and withdrawing from a substantial deal with Honda aimed at producing affordable EVs priced under $30,000. GM CEO Mary Barra has drawn criticism for her stance on the profitability of cheaper EVs, questioning the rationale behind their production amidst market uncertainties. Despite a significant downturn in the EV market, both Ford and GM have maintained their pricing strategies, further exacerbating the situation. While publicly showcasing their commitment to EVs, they are privately lobbying against aggressive mandates. Ford is reconsidering plans for a new battery factory. GM is scaling back production targets, and even Tesla is postponing the construction of a new EV plant in Mexico. Former President Trump has also weighed in on the debate, expressing concerns about the feasibility and impact of EVs on the traditional automotive industry, aligning with his America First agenda. This intersection of market forces and political pressures underscores the complexity of the EV landscape, with stakeholders grappling to navigate a rapidly evolving industry landscape amidst shifting regulatory frameworks. Amidst the surge in electric vehicle popularity, consumers find themselves at a crossroads. They're urged to either splurge on pricey EVs or face the repercussions of environmental negligence. This dilemma has prompted a variety of reactions. Some are swapping their EVs for hybrids, others are abandoning them altogether, while many are left bewildered by the soaring car prices. A recent consumer report sheds light on the pitfalls of EV ownership, serving as a cautionary tale for prospective buyers. Why the caution? Because, as it turns out, EVs pose significant safety risks. Let's delve into the issue of reliability, or rather the lack thereof, in EVs. Studies reveal that EVs suffer from nearly 80% more repair issues compared to their gas or hybrid counterparts. Imagine the dismay of purchasing a brand new EV only to be plagued by a myriad of problems, from battery malfunctions to charging woes, and even unsettling noises emanating from the vehicle.
You all know I'm a car guy.
Transitioning to EVs in pursuit of eco-friendliness often leads to an unexpected inconvenience: prolonged charging times. During colder months, EVs experience a drastic reduction in range, sometimes up to 41%. Additionally, the availability of charging stations proves to be a persistent issue, with many either out of order or overcrowded. These challenges leave EV owners stranded, disillusioned, and longing for the reliability of traditional gas-powered vehicles. Perhaps the most alarming aspect of EV ownership is the risk of fire. Tragic incidents such as the case of Omar N., whose Tesla Model S caught fire after a collision, underscore this peril. Lithium-ion batteries, while potent, can trigger catastrophic events like thermal runaway, culminating in fires or explosions. Reports of Tesla vehicles spontaneously combusting in parking structures further exacerbate these concerns. Moreover, EVs grapple with an array of software glitches, given their reliance on sophisticated computer systems. Notably, Volkswagen faces a substantial challenge due to software malfunctions, prompting large-scale recalls. Similarly, General Motors' Cadillac Lyriq, despite modest sales figures, has been subject to recall due to software issues. The realm of electric vehicles is undergoing a nuanced evolution, marked by a myriad of opportunities and intricacies that demand careful consideration. Among the familiar challenges haunting the EV market are the specters of range anxiety and steep price differentials. Comparatively, EVs command a significant premium of $220,000 over their hybrid counterparts, necessitating an extensive mileage of at least 60,000 miles to achieve financial parity. These economic realities underscore the flux within the EV sector.
Ford is investing $11 billion in electric vehicles,
prompting prudent consumers to weigh their options and potentially opt for conventional gas-powered or hybrid vehicles in the interim. The effects of President Biden's aggressive promotion of electric vehicles are complex and multifaceted. There are a number of potential benefits and drawbacks that need to be weighed carefully. On the other hand, there is no doubt that EVs have the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality. A study by the International Council on Clean Transportation found that EVs produce significantly fewer greenhouse gas emissions than gasoline-powered vehicles, even when accounting for the emissions associated with electricity generation. Additionally, EVs do not produce tailpipe emissions, which can improve air quality in urban areas. On the other hand, there are a number of challenges associated with widespread EV adoption. One major challenge is the cost of EVs. Currently, EVs are significantly more expensive than gasoline-powered vehicles, although the cost gap is narrowing.
GM is making the largest investment in its history, $7 billion to build electric vehicles.
Additionally, there is a lack of charging infrastructure in many parts of the country, which can make it inconvenient to own and operate an EV. Another challenge is the impact on the workforce. The transition to EVs could lead to job losses in the automotive industry, as gasoline-powered vehicles are phased out. It is important to consider these potential impacts and develop policies to mitigate them. Despite aspirations for EVs to become practical and widespread, evidence suggests otherwise. While political figures like Joe Biden advocate for EV adoption, the automotive industry is witnessing a resurgence in combustion engine sales. Leading car manufacturers, including Japanese giants like Honda and Toyota, are doubling down on hybrids, with some exploring alternative technologies such as hydrogen and ammonia engines. This shift prompts reflection. Are political agendas driving EV promotion too aggressively? Is the promise of EVs merely a facade? These questions underscore the uncertainty surrounding EVs and the broader automotive landscape. Share your thoughts on whether EVs are overhyped or if they hold genuine promise. Additionally, stay updated on the latest developments in the EV industry by liking and subscribing to my channel.